Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Hope, a show that shines the light on possibilities and good things in our lives. I'm your host, Lois Hermann, and I'm joined today by my associate and dear friend, Scott Masciarelli. So we want to talk with you about attention, intention, and spelling. Not necessarily a spelling bee, but kind of like that. So, Scott, take it away.
Well, let's start first with attention. If I ask you, what are you paying attention to? Each one of us is going to have a very different answer. All very personal, depending on what we like, what's important to us, not only what we need, what we want, but what is necessary in our life at that time. If I ask, what's your intention? That becomes a much deeper question there. So paying attention to something, as I view it, can be very surface level. It's important.
Mhm.
What's the intention behind something? That is much more important than what it is that we're actually doing. So the action that we're taking is an action, but what's the intention behind the action? Is it pure? Is it not so pure?
Mhm.
Are we looking for a specific result? Do we have expectations laced in that intention? Or are we open to what happens? So I'll pause there.
And I like what you said about is it pure, is it not so pure? Because our intention can be retribution and anger and hate. And so then what we do is we breed more of that, what we place our attention on. In other words, what we're just superficially doing throughout the day, that's what we're placing our attention on. I'm doing the dishes, I'm writing something, I'm in the garden, I am placing my attention on something. But what is my intention as I am doing it? If my intention is laced with the love of working in the garden, that's one outcome and result. But if my intention is, oh man, I got to do this, I'm so annoyed. If the intention is laced with something negative, we will have a different outcome. It's very deliberate, and this is where the spelling comes in. But where we place our focus, what our heart's desire is really critical. And one of the reasons that Scott and I are talking about this is we're seeing a lot of mixed messages out there in our world, and some people are spewing a lot of things that they are not aware of that is laced with negative intention. And what we have to do is take a step back, take a breath, and look and see, what is my intention in this? Is my intention to be of service and of assistance and of help and to create something uplifting? Or is my intention to derail and degrade and create division? That makes a huge difference. Our outcome is based on what the intention is. Is that where you're kind of coming from too, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. The outcome is based on the intention because the intention, as we know in the work that we do with energy clearing and alignment, and also with metaphysical hypnosis and helping people heal, it's all energy.
Mhm.
Everything around us is energy. We're energy. We are all connected. There is a universe that we're all very much a part of. Everything is a part of. And that intention is the real energy behind whatever it is that we're doing, behind that action. That intention is what's magnetizing whatever it is to us. And if, like you gave the example of the garden, if we're in the garden and if we believe that everything is energy and we are pulling up plants and just mindlessly pulling up roots, and I have to be in the garden again today. I can't believe this. Why don't these vegetables grow? Why don't these flowers grow? Guess what? They're not going to grow.
Oh. Mhm.
Or you hear the people that talk to their plants, and it does work. And I know you have a lot of gardens, right? So you
Yes.
probably do talk to your plants, or at least do it with a loving intention,
Right.
because you know that the output of what's going to happen is so much more powerful. And that's the important thing is we often forget, we think whatever it is we're doing, the physical act of the doing is the important thing. It's not. I mean, it is, but what's more important, which is what's not talked about, is what's not seen, but it is felt. It is absolutely felt because a person will understand and will feel the energy behind something, not necessarily know where to place it or how to define it, but they will certainly feel it. Like if I'm cooking a meal and I'm lacing it with negative intention, and being so angry that I have to cook and I feed that to people, that food is not going to be nearly as nutritious and good for them
Yeah.
as it would be if I was lacing it with love and with joy and infusing it with all of this positive intention. And it does sound a little bit hocus pocus. It does sound a little bit magic. But actually, the world that we live in and work in, there's a lot of magic and there's a lot of hocus pocus. And it goes back to what's the responsibility that we're taking? Are we intending things to be good, benevolent, pure, or negative and destructive?
Mhm.
Because either one works.
Right.
Electricity is the same energy. You can toast or you can toast person,
Mhm.
right? I mean, you can do both. You can do something bad, you can do something good.
Again, it's
And
what you place your attention on. And I do
right,
comment, Scott, on something that you said a minute ago, because we also have people who feel as if I just visualize it, it will come into being. And that's lovely, but we do have to take an action. We are here in the 3D world. So it's a combination of intending with a positive outcome in mind with an action, which the action is really what you're placing your attention on. The action is the attention. I am placing my attention on this. I am intending to create something by actively participating in the creation of it. Can't just sit back with the hocus pocus. Even in hocus pocus, if they use a magic wand, that's an action. They're doing something. You have to do something. You can't just sit back and dream it into being. You must visualize it, set the intention, and take the steps to create and make manifest.
yes, yeah, very true. Very true. And then to take it one step further, do you want to switch into spelling?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but 'tis the season, right? Halloween is kind of just around the corner, but if you go into any store from 3 weeks ago, you'd think it was tomorrow.
Right.
So, what do witches do? They cast spells.
Right.
Everything is energy. That means words themselves are energy. Each letter has an energetic vibration assigned to it. Combination of letters, how we spell words, is energy. Each word means something. Our intention behind the word gives further weight to what it is that we're doing. And if we agree to all of that or consider it to be possible, then wouldn't it make sense that as we're speaking, we are also spelling
Mhm.
or casting spells because words are powerful.
And we're not even aware of most of the words that we use and the spells behind the words. For instance, I'm training myself to avoid using the word good morning. What is mourning? Mourning is sadness, is loss, is grieving of something lost, right? So why would you say good morning? I would prefer to say good day or good lovely day or something. I'm having to train myself because we have been conditioned through old spellcasts to say good morning. So we start the day with a sadness mindset, right?
That's right, because you're generally we're speaking it, which is the speaking of the word, which so we're spelling it, casting the spell there by speaking it, and we're not seeing how it's spelled. Yes, it's spelled differently
Correct.
than morning.
Mhm.
And in other languages, Spanish, buenos dias, good day, Italian, buongiorno, good day,
Right.
right? Much better.
Right. Exactly.
Somehow in English, it's become good morning, but morning is the same. And so
Mhm.
when you say it, and the mind, here's the thing, the mind, and you know this, the mind doesn't know what's true and what's not, what's real and what's not. That's why visualization works so well. We
Mhm.
can visualize things and become better. Yes, to your point earlier, we have to take action. We
Right.
do. But the mind is hearing morning.
Mhm.
We're hearing morning. That vibration is the same vibration as mourning. It's exactly the same.
And the English language is very confusing to someone who speaks another language because we have so many double meanings in our words. And what we're used to, we're comfortable, we're accustomed to using words a certain way. But someone else that is, say, Spanish speaking, buenos dias, good day. And then they're like mourning when they're using that word. It's calling attention to us, the conflict, the confusion in our words. So it's wonderful to have someone be that mirror for us that says, wait a second. So what we have to start doing is pay attention to the words that we think, that we speak, and that we read. Because when we read things, they may have a different energy signature in them as well. This is where it also comes down to the specific intention behind the words and the actual spell casting of using words in different ways. And then it gets into people who are putting questionable truths out there, and then people who believe them. And this is one of the things that's really perplexing to me, that in this day and age, there is a lot of misinformation out there. And what we have to do is pay attention to our intention and our intuition. And I know that there are people who are deliberately putting spiteful things out there. And there are other people who, and I'm just going to say, I'm guilty of this right myself. I just shared something that I thought was a truth. It was something simple, but I shared it only to have someone else come along and say, they hasn't had a concert here in England in a long time. And I'm like, okay, it looked like it was truth to me, and I shared it. So I was just as guilty of sharing misinformation as other people who do it deliberately. It was not an intention to share that misinformation, but it was somebody else's intention to put something so enticing out there that someone like me would come along and go, oh, let me share this. So we have to use our discernment. So it kind of ties in with the attention, intention, and then the other factor is discernment.
Absolutely. And along with that is us not getting on.
Can you say that without the word not?
Oh, that's good. Is us becoming aware of when we are not fully present. I was not. Let me try that again. This is a good exercise of us becoming aware of when we are busy doing things mindlessly. Maybe, how to say this? Maybe not paying as much attention to what it is, and really understanding our intention.
Correct.
All of that.
I'm teasing Scott because in the NLP world, neuro-linguistic programming world, there is no such word as the word not. The subconscious mind does not hear the word not. Don't think about 9/11. Your subconscious mind immediately goes there. So try, if you will, to remove things like not from your vocabulary. It's challenging. It's a second nature word that we use, and you have to be mindful to avoid using words that we have been trained to use on a regular basis.
So just like but.
Another one, absolutely.
Right. Lois, you look great today in that pink top, but blue would look so much better. What would you just hear?
Okay, I don't look so good today. Because anything after anything said before the word "but" it's
Canceled.
It's canceled. Absolutely.
Yes.
So words are fascinating, and the study of words is fascinating, and the use of words is so commanding for our own self and for others. So we have to learn how to write the words in our own thought process and choose the words mindfully, carefully, in order then to affect the change that we wish to see in the world. That would be a Gandhi statement, right?
It's very true, though. And that way we can cast the positive spells, because we're always spelling, cast the positive spells based on pure intention and watch the results, not only for us, but for all of those around us.
Right. One of our friends, Leslie, reminds me often, she avoids using the word understanding, which if you break the word down, that is to stand under. That means I am subservient. Understanding is a less than perception. She uses the word inner standing. I am innerstanding this. I understand this. My inner mind is now standing with this. I am in standing with this truth, with this inspiration, or this insight. It's tricky how many words that we are comfortable with that are casting spells.
It becomes second nature to us.
And
it takes that step back that you've talked about, for us to step back and be really clear on what it is that we're doing and listen to what we're saying, listen to what we're is being said to us.
Mhm. What do they say? You've got two ears and one.
Sure. Listen
So,
twice as much as we speak.
listen,
We learn a lot more that way. We don't learn when we speak.
it's like measure twice, cut once. Listen twice, speak once. Really listen to people from the heart and listen to your own truths, your own words that come not only out of your mouth, but the words we say in our mind that we then believe about ourselves or about others. One of the things that I'm seeing, again, back to things on social media, I've gotten to the point where I just don't appreciate so much on social media, especially when people post so much hate. There's no reason for it. The whole point of what we're, especially spiritual people, I look at these people who are supposedly spiritual people and they're spewing anger and hate and they don't see it. To me, that's mind-boggling that they don't see what they're doing. As you speak hate and anger, you're setting a vibrational frequency that's also affecting your own vibrational energy. So you're lowering your own vibration when you speak hate speak, even if it's at or directed at another person. Learning to speak from a level of forgiveness, of peace, of joy, of willingness to hear another person's perspective, coming from a place of openness is a different vibration than one from blame, shame, guilt, anger, fear. And it is amazing how many people just mindlessly spew that stuff. They don't realize that it's sticking on them and lowering their vibrational frequency.
Correct. Sticking on them. And also, if their intention is that, well, how sad is that?
That's right. That's exactly right. How sad is that? If that's their true intention, can't really be a spiritual person, then can you now?
No, not very well.
Mm-mm. Not from what the Christed awareness would be. And the Christed awareness is the awareness of coming into a higher vibrational energy. And that's what some of us aspire to do and be and live.
Casting positive spells with a good intention for us for all and a positive outcome.
And Scott, if you don't mind, I'd like to point out we just went through an intense, amazing training. And in the training, when we do our metaphysical hypnosis training, everybody experiences the energy of the sessions for their own personal growth and healing. And then they actually take part in actively doing some sessions. So one of the sessions, I won't go into detail, one of the sessions that you went through had a profound message for you about paying attention to your intuition, right?
It did, absolutely. And it was in the moment in the session towards the end, once all the work has been done for the most part, where we're going into a future moment, a future place. And the interesting thing about it was there wasn't a definitive or specific future moment or future place. What came through was by continuing to trust your intuition and your attention, your positive attention on what it is that you're doing, but really connecting with yourself, with myself, more deeply on a regular basis. The consistency is the important thing, that anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And any of those possibilities for the future can happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of what do I want to happen? And then that ties back into what we started with about how words are powerful. Everything is energy. We magnetize what it is that we want based on our intention, based on our spelling, based on our thoughts. All of it is vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very powerful because it wasn't like a normal moment in a hypnosis session where there's a specific moment in the future. That wasn't the case. It was actually just white.
Mm-hmm.
It was bright light. It was white with the guides that came through. And that was the message. Pay attention to your intuition and your intention.
Mm-hmm.
And basically anything and everything is possible.
And there was also an element of honoring yourself, because in that past life, you had a gut feeling about something and you ignored it. How many times have we done that? How many times do we, we look back in retrospect, and I knew better. I knew I shouldn't have trusted that person. I knew I shouldn't have taken that road. I knew I shouldn't have whatever. And Those are those learning moments. We have to trust ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's interesting. That's what happened to me in the hypnosis session. I was getting I was getting a really tickly throat and needed to drink water during a couple of times during the hypnosis. And it all was because going back to that, I knew it, that the action that I had been taking in that past life, I should not have taken that action. I knew it. I didn't trust myself and I didn't speak up.
Yes,
And that's the other message to it, that pay attention to our intuition and our intentions and consistently connect with ourselves to create that inner standing, as Leslie says,
hmm
and we'll have much more of an ability to speak up and take action, which is then supported by a foundation of positive intention and the words that we speak, the thoughts that we think.
absolutely. And so there's the intention, the thinking it, the thinking the words, the setting the intention, the taking the action, trusting our intuition. The other element that comes in is discernment. Speaking our truth and also knowing, there's an old song out there, knowing when to hold up, knowing when to fold up, knowing when to walk away, because there are some people that you could talk and talk and talk and share from your heart. They will not get it. There's always a benefit of planting a seed. However, it's knowing the discernment, having the discernment to know, is it even appropriate to plant a seed with this person who is so in that lower energy of hate, blame, shame? They're not going to hear even a level of courage or willingness. They won't even, it's like a different vibrational frequency. They're,
Yes.
we're talking, apples and oranges. We're on different wavelengths, different timelines, if you will, different energetic awarenesses. So we have to use discernment and say, these people just are not going to get it. Should I lower my vibrational energy to debate with them? Somehow they will get to that point when their source that they know, love, and trust have come to the source that they are getting their information from. When that source changes, then they will start to awaken. Until that source that they're getting their information from changes, there's nothing that those of us who have an awareness, very strong spiritual awareness of a higher level vibration, not a better person, but we've worked at being at a higher level of vibration to where we can sense, see, and feel different information more clearly. When somebody is at that low guilt, blame, shame level, there's not a whole lot you can do for them than just to send them prayers of love.
Absolutely. And I think it goes back to taking responsibility or being in blame mode, right? And those lower energy, or those lower vibrations on the scale of consciousness, that's all blame.
Blame, shame.
That's victim status. That's blame. Whereas when we have courage and openness and neutrality, we're in a place of taking more responsibility, at least being open. And that's what's required. And just like in sales, some will, some won't. So what?
Mm-hmm.
Keep it moving.
Exactly. Keep moving. And it kind of goes into the dogma of most religions. The dogma of most religions keeps people in a low level of guilt, blame, shame. And that keeps them subservient, keeps them victims, keeps them puppets, keeps them in control. They're being controlled. And when people are more into a personal awareness, I would refer to it as spiritually aware, when it's not so much religiosity or dogma, but it's more spiritual connection with your own divine, wise mind. When you are tapped in and knowing that your inner truth and your inner awareness, when you have that divine connection, it's a different level of awareness. And you can live a life that is magical in that awareness, even though, yes, there are horrible things that are going on in our world. What we need to learn to do, and I'm going to remove the word need. Everyone has a choice. It's always a choice point. What I aspire to do is to keep my vibration high, because the higher my vibration, the healthier I am, mind, body, spirit, and emotions. The higher my vibration is, the healthier I am, and the more good I can do for this world. If I sink down into the blame shame game, then I'm lowering my vibration. I'm going to end up tired, exhausted, sick, and worse. And I'm contributing to lowering the overall vibration of our world.
Absolutely. And none of that helps the individual's own health and wellness and their own immune system, right? Because that low vibration, those negative words, those words of anger and hatred and everything else that we've been discussing, it comes back, it starts from us. That means it's in us. So
Mhm,
we're doing it to us as well. We
mhm,
might think that we're pushing it out there to that one or this one or whoever, but that's not the case.
mhm,
It's very much an inner process, that inner standing that Leslie talks about.
mhm.
And the other thing that, well, there's that, and I was going to say something else, and it just ran past me as I was thinking about something, another thing, but that is important, and taking that responsibility for our own vibration and knowing that the higher vibrational level that we are in consistently, the better it is for us, the better it is for those around us. And oh, this is what it is. Abraham Hicks, who's channels Abraham, Esther Hicks,
Right.
in one of her sessions years ago said, you can't get if you're trying to help the poor, you can't get poor enough to help the poor. You can't get sick enough to help the sick.
Right.
You need to stay elevated. You need to stay, or not need to stay. It's better to stay elevated. It's better to stay in a higher vibrational place because we can offer more from that state.
100%. I absolutely agree. Yeah, and another one that they also another book that they have out there is segment intending, the power of intention. And it
Yes.
ties into what we started with, the power of intention. What is your intention? And what do you tell yourself? Do you start your day with, oh man, I gotta go do this, I've got to do
Right.
this? Or do you start your day with, oh, I get to do this? It's you still
Right.
have to do the task, but gotta do versus get to do. It's just flipping the script to
That's it.
positive energy versus counter negative energy. And it takes work to get there. And it takes concerted
Tension.
attention and attention. And it also takes the power of protection. All these chuns, right? They all
Yes. A
and
lot.
chun. But we speak a lot of keeping ourselves protected. Putting the power of protection around us ties in with setting boundaries. And many of us have been trained, conditioned to just let them walk all over you. Oh, I see someone now that is hurting and they're spewing that their own anger, hate, whatever. It's like, do you really want to be around someone that is just riddled with toxic energy in the form of emotional signature? I'd rather stay away from them, to keep my distance from them, set some boundaries, send them love, send them light, send them the opportunity for healing, ask for healing for them, set some boundaries. Keep yourself from getting toxified, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. We've just been through the COVID crazies where people were overly reacting to becoming germaphobes, if you will. However, if someone is truly, truly sick and they have something that could be contagious, you may want to stay away from them until they're a little bit better. That's just common sense. It's the same sort of thing on a spiritual, mental, emotional level. If somebody is contagious with a sickness of energy, it's all energy, the energy transforms or gets shared. And what you want to do is guard against that toxic energy that's being spewed, send them some positive, and protect your own positive energy.
Very important.
Mhm.
It is. And as you were saying about, it's happening to me. Oftentimes it's only a preposition, right? It's a very small word that we're talking about to shift the intention behind something. Something's happening to me or it's happening for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Big difference. It's happening to me, I'm a victim.
Right.
It's happening for me, I'm looking at it as an opportunity. It may not be the most pleasant situation, but it's something that I can journey through, experience, and ultimately become a better version of myself through it. Very different way of looking at it.
It's also taking ownership for it. And it's very interesting.
Right. That responsibility, ownership.
Even in the sessions that we did at this intensive, this metaphysical intensive, there were two different people who went into a journey that their assumption was that I was forced into this life. And when they went in and spoke to the council in between, they're like, wait a second, I chose this life. And when you have the awareness that I chose my parents, I chose the situation because of my soul mission, because of my purpose, there's a whole different energy that is associated with that because now I own it. It's not like someone made me do this. That's a victim mindset versus, okay, I chose this and I chose it to learn this, or to teach this. So when you have that soul awareness of, I am at choice. I'm at choice with the words I think, the words I speak, the words I share, and the people who I share it with. It makes all the difference in the world.
It does. And on that note, we probably should set the intention to wrap this podcast up.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to learn more, you can always find us at loisherman.com. We've just started a whole new program that if you'd like to sign up, it's free. It's an energy mini course that if you want to learn a little bit more about the kind of work that we do and how we help people to shift their energy, sign up. It's free. It's right there on the website. So thank you, Scott. I appreciate you so much.
And you're welcome. This was a great conversation. It was more than we anticipated, but it's perfect, just as it is.
Divinely guided, always. Thank you.
That's right. You're welcome. Take care.
Until next time, everyone, look up, stay positive, use the positive words and intention to be the light in someone's day. I'll see you next time.
Take care.